Witcher Wild Hunt isn't all roses and sunshine, yet there are some deeply heartbreaking stories that would bring tears to your eyes. In this video, we're gonna talk about top 10 sad stories. Number 10. Olgird and Iris. A young lad was born in Redanian wealthy noble family. He learned how to read, fight, ride a horse. He grows up with his younger brother Vesemir, whom he loved deeply. When he grew up, he formed a gang called Redanian Free Company. They raid and plunder here and there and got famous for that. The name of Olgird von Evrik sent shivers up to any noblety's spine. During this time, he meets a girl from a wealthy family called Iris and falls in love with her. They get betrothed and everything seems to work out until, through a chain of unfortunate incidents, his family loses all its money and falls in debt. Iris's family, seeing this, find another suitor for her, a prince from Ophir. Olgird, sad and desperate, curses the Ophiri prince and turns him into a frog. This is where downfall of Olgird starts. Having no other means to get his love back, he makes a deal with Gunter Odim. He wishes for wealth and to live like there is no tomorrow. Gunter in return asks for sacrifice of a loved one, and Olgird, between his brother and Iris, chooses his brother, Vesemir, who gets killed the next day. But Gunter, being manipulative in nature, grants the wish in his own twisted way. He made him wealthy and immortal, but he took his heart figuratively. Olgird no longer had empathy or any feelings. He got married to Iris, but he had no heart to love her. He only knew he should, but that wasn't enough. Their relationship grew cold to an extent that Iris called for her father to end the marriage, which resulted in Olgird killing him. Olgird was betrayed. He gave everything up, including his brother, to get to Iris, but once he did, he felt nothing. Finally, Olgird decided to leave Iris in order not to cause her any more pain. As for Iris, she too lost everything, her father and her love. Now she was left alone in a big, lonely state. Her heart simply burst out of pain and loneliness. Regardless of how you play the game, whether you save Olgird or not, his and Iris's story is nothing but grief.
First off, you tell me what it's like to have a heart of stone.
It's wonderful at the start. You feel no fear, no angst, but also no concern, no care for anyone, not even those you loved. And gradually, you lose them. Well, you know how it ended.
What about your senses? Taste, smell?
All there. At first, I savoured the world like never before. It was stronger, more clear.
How's that possible?
I did not wish for a heart of stone. That was a mere side effect. I wished to win back Iris's hand and have my fortune restored, and then to live like there was no tomorrow. And thus I lived until I ceased to feel anything at all. What a joy to be done with it. Because I am done, right?
Number 9. Vesemir. The oldest of the Witchers, their mentor and father, and also a father-like figure to all of us who played the game. He was the man of principle, always encouraging others to be so. Being the oldest, combined with discipline and thirst for knowledge, resulted in him spending a lot of time researching and reading, making him the wisest among the Witchers, the one who almost knew it all. We don't get a lot of time with him. He appears at the beginning of the game and later in Kaer Morhen, where he and Ciri were surrounded by enemies. He fought off Imleris, and when he attacked him back, he chose to save Ciri rather than himself. Using the art sign, he pushes Ciri out of danger zone, but gets captured by Imleris himself. When Eridan wanted to use him to get to Ciri, he provokes Imleris to kill him, sacrificing himself for Ciri. His death broke the heart of all of us, but also showed us how far he'd go to save Ciri and fight evil. Number 8. Syanna and Anna Henrietta. Syanna was the older sister of Anna, both daughter of a duke and to be duchesses of Toussaint. Unfortunately for Syanna, she was born during the Curse of Black Sun, which is explained in the books. This resulted in her being treated unfairly, which resulted in her being bitter and vengeful. Finally, her father decided to banish her when she was still very young. The knight's mission with taking her out of duchy beat and humiliated her for any excuse they got. She, once living like a princess, had to grow up among thugs and thieves. When she grew up, she planned a scheme to kill the knights and her sister Anna for forgetting about her and for letting her go. Well, the ending heavily depends on how you play the game, but at the worst scenario, Syanna kills Anna with hairpin, then gets shot herself, and both sisters die, resulting in one of the saddest stories of the game, as we all grew to love Anna for her unique and strong character. Number 7. Dettlaff. Many of you might disagree that Dettlaff's story and death is a sad one, as he was the villain in a way. But if we take a deep look into him and try to sympathize, we see an emotional, caring vampire who fell in love with Syanna and was abandoned by her. All this time, he thought someone kidnapped her or harmed her, as he couldn't comprehend that she simply left. Later, when she schemed a plan to use him, he stopped at nothing to save her, even killed his own friend, the guilt of which made him cut off the hand he committed murder with. There we get a glimpse of how deeply he feels. Finally, when he found out he was played, he decides to kill Syanna, but Geralt, trying to save her, kills Dettlaff and ends his story. Number 6. Bloody Baron. Bloody Baron's story has got many praise and is known to be one of the strongest points in the story of the game. Philip, later known as Bloody Baron, was a Temerian soldier. He got wounded in one of the battles, and Anna, a nurse, patched him up. They fell in love and got married. Soon their daughter was born. Yet Philip, being a soldier, was mostly away at war fronts. Some years later, when he got home, he found a letter that Anna had written, saying she is in love with someone else and has left Philip to live with him. Yet Bloody Baron finds them and kills Anna's lover. Since then, their lives turn to hell. Anna, vengeful, doesn't miss a chance to taunt and annoy him, and Bloody Baron, mostly drunk, beats her from time to time. Anyhow, Anna gets pregnant again, but she doesn't want a child from the man she hates. So she makes a deal with the ladies of the wood to rid her of the fetus. In return, they ask for 1 year of her service. Long story short, Anna miscarries and leaves Bloody Baron that night, but crones abduct her. Bloody Baron regrets everything he had done, stops drinking, and makes it his life mission to find his wife. With help of Geralt, he finally finds her, yet it's too late. Based on how you play the game, he either finds Anna mentally broken because of serving crones, or turned into a monster, in which case Bloody Baron hangs himself. Number 5. Ciri. Ciri was born with a gift, the Elder Blood, which grants her extraordinary powers. She was, after all, the Lady of Time and Space, yet it was also her curse, as it drew a lot of attention to her, usually people with evil plans trying to get her powers. If you think Ciri had it bad in the games, try reading the books. Ciri's sad ending, most likely resulting in her death, comes from series of bad decisions that Geralt makes, like taking the money from Emir. Our lovely Ciri, after defeating the Wild Hunt, now wants to defeat the bigger enemy, the impending doom, the White Frost. She opens a portal between worlds. Geralt comes in time to stop her, but to no avail. She leaves regardless, and once there, sacrifices herself to stop the White Frost. Of course, the whole point of the game is trying to find and save Ciri, and failing to do so, and seeing our beloved character die, is more than sad. The other ending, where Ciri becomes Empress, the last scene of the game where she says goodbye to Geralt, is overwhelmingly gloomy in a whole different way. Number 4. Geralt. If you couldn't forgive yourself for getting Ciri killed, imagine how bad Geralt feels. Our hero, after losing his daughter and failing in saving her, reaches a state of nihilism. You could say that he wanted to die. Geralt, filled with grief, journeys back to Crookback Bog to kill the last crone and get Ciri's medallion, which in fact was Vesemir's medallion, back. Sadly, that's all he could do to find a shred of comfort. Geralt managed to kill her and finds the medallion, yet he sits there without his swords, clutching the medallion, overcome by grief. We see monsters of all kinds surrounding him, and he doesn't have his swords. We don't know for sure if he dies or not, but seeing him like that is painful enough. Number 3. Annabel. We don't get to see Annabel when she was alive. We find her ghost in the tower in Fyke Isle, where she tells us about her horrific story. Annabel was the daughter of the ruler of Velen. She fell in love with a peasant called Graham, but his father didn't approve, naturally. One day after famine took over the land, people attacked the tower and killed Annabel's family. Annabel hid in a room, but opened the door when Graham, her lover, called her. Unfortunately, when she opened it, others lunged in too and tried to rape her. Graham couldn't stop them. Annabel drank the potion a mage gave her, not knowing what it was. She drops cold as an ice, and peasants think she's dead. Graham too. Angry Graham curses everyone for what they did to his beloved. After plundering, everyone leaves, including Graham. Later, Annabel wakes up paralyzed. The first thing she feels are the rats ripping open her skin. She feels immense pain, but she can't even scream, and she dies a sad and horrific death in pain and agony. Like that wasn't enough, in death, she becomes a pesta, and her soul can't leave the place until Geralt lifts the curse. Number 2. Vivienne. Vivienne was Duchess Anna Henrietta's lady-in-waiting, but her sad story began even before she was born. When her mother was pregnant with her, she and her dad used to spend some time in forest. They were happy. Their happiness made the unknown creature in the forest envious. One day, the creature confronted them, saying the forest is his and they should pay for being there. Vivienne's parents had nothing on them at that moment, so the creature cursed their unborn child. It twisted the mother's earlier words about how she wished her daughter would be as beautiful as orioles. Vivienne lived a normal life until she was an adult. Then, in full moon, she grew feathers and a beak. It grew worse as she got older. Yet she found, by swimming in the small pond at the forest, she'd return to her normal human form. She also used a lot of magical ornaments to hide the curse. Geralt, asked by a knight to investigate about her, finds out about the curse. Now, the ending depends on how you play it, but one of possible ways to lift the curse was that Geralt transferred it into an oriole's egg, but that meant that Vivienne would have no more than 7 years. But Vivienne is thrilled. She doesn't see a short lifespan, but 7 years of being normal and free. She thinks of it as a gift. After lifting the curse, Vivienne, eager to use every moment of her left time, travels. She finally settles in Skellige, and that's where she passes away.
All right, there is another. Ancient ritual. We'd need an Oriole egg. Should release the curse's grip permanently. Gotta warn you though, could have serious consequences.
Consequences? What kind?
Curse was cast before you came into this world. Ritual involved transferring it to an as-yet unhatched chick. You'd be free. Thing is, you could be left with the average lifespan of an Oriole.
7 years. I understand. Alas, every rose has its thorn, and there are no happy endings. Yet truth be told, I never thought I would get one. I came here prepared to die, yet you wish to give me 7 years of life. Real life, free life. This is no dilemma. I agree, wholeheartedly.
I see why. I understand. Don't have to decide just yet. Think it through.
I will. They must miss me at the tourney grounds by now. Shall we return?
Number 1. Keira Metz. Keira Metz was former member of the Lodge, yet she never created any problems for Geralt or Yennefer. In the game, she's a friend of Geralt, yet she has 2 sad endings. Keira, hiding from witch hunters, settles in a village in Velen. Geralt finds her when he was looking for Ciri. Through some adventures and planning, she gets hold of Mage Alexander's notes on Plague, and she plans to give it to Radovid to be forgiven by him. In one scenario, Geralt stops her, which results in fighting, and Geralt kills her. A really disturbing action considering she was a friend, not only to Geralt but also Triss and Yennefer. In the other ending, Geralt lets her to take the notes to Radovid, in which case Radovid impales her and then puts her on a square in Novigrad for display. A real disturbing and sad ending for Keira Metz.